I'm telling you, evil genies, night palaces, handkerchiefs, you don't want any part of this.
Hey, I gotta review a level, man. You said this book had a ton.
Yeah, but you're a good guy. I don't want you getting hurt. I mean, this is for the experts. How about we find you something easier?
Hey, I could handle a little danger. I'm stronger than I look.
I'll be straight with you, Alan.
Adam,
you're a tough guy, but this is a big risk. I mean, I'm pretty sure we shouldn't even be selling this item. But I'll tell you what, let me talk to my boss in the back and see if we can figure something out, alright?
Yeah? Tell him I'm willing to go above market price.
Oh, smart. Yeah, will do. I'll be right back. I know, it's just this once.
Oh, did things get heated back there?
Yeah, I was doing a lot of heating. Turns out he was saving it for his daughter's birthday. But I told him, Adam's a stand-up guy. Little Jessica will just have to wait. And then he gave me the sticker price. And I said, boss, Adam's gotta make a living too, but he wouldn't budge. So, I wasn't supposed to do this, but I offered up my vacation days for a discount.
What? You didn't have to.
I know. And with a couple zeros off the tag, this thing comes out to a clean $20.
That's incredible! You're the best! Here.
Hey, I don't do this for just anyone. Now, are you absolutely sure? The desert is a wild place, and genies are no joke.
Aladdin won't know what hit him. You better make some room, because I might come back with a magic lamp! What the? Oh, that skunk ripped me off! What the hell are we doing here? There ain't one lick of dino in all 1001 pages of the Arabian Nights, and take it from me, because I didn't read it. I don't know why they put dinosaurs in secret rings, but I couldn't be happier. I'm hitting my table, can you hear that? Oh, I love dinosaurs. Always have. I don't know their names, but I know their looks. I like the one with the eyes. I finally played Secret Rings last month, and this level instantly caught my eye. It starts with a stampede, transitions into a log flume, flings you into a valley, and slides you into a lagoon. Every other chunk of this act has you dealing with some sort of dino, from tyrannosaurs to pteranodons. They don't forget to pack our prehistoric friends into every corner. Kinda. You get a lot of logs, too, for some reason. But also Parasaurolophus. And you're complaining? Look, I'm a massive Jurassic Park fan, and trust me, I've been waiting for that video longer than you've been alive. Of all the Crichton adaptions done by a man named Steven featuring a main character in blue and red, these might be my favorite. So you know when I was picking a secret stage to inspect, my heart instantly set on the Isla Nublar Grand National Charity Run for kids who met Compsognathuses. Don't give it a hot dog, kid. It's right up my alley. Spared no expense. Ow, owie, you're eating me, ow. We're hitting all the famous quotes today. Okay, that's a lot of dino talk. What about the dino track? Well, it's very easy. It's basically the metal harbor of this installment. A lot of straight lines, short reconnecting branches. You're even surfing too. I would hazard a guess that a lot of Secret Rings diehards see the jungle more as a performance piece than any sort of technical obstacle course. And speaking as a guy who didn't love Secret Rings, that's why it's my favorite. I did not gel well with the motion controls, which is why I actually enjoyed a lot of these reduced gameplay moments. You're mainly just swinging from left to right. No homes, one direction for like half these segments. It's a cinematic feast, but it's also a breath of fresh air for Sonic himself. Ow. Because he is freaking out. Because one of the best parts of the jungle is how scared Sonic is. He's scared stupid. That's 2 Baleen reps. When I hit my third, it's a pizza party. Plus, you get a great back and forth with the genie too. It's such a hectic fish out of water thrill ride that it easily landed as number 1 when choosing levels from the Arabian Nights. But just to set the scene, I'm gaming on a Wii U with a Wii Mote, full motion, so we're steering Sonic like it's 2007. Also, I'm not gonna compare this with a Crossworlds track because I haven't played that yet. Whoopsie. But also, Dinosaur Jungle deserves to stand on its own. It's got dinosaurs, isn't that enough for you? Nah, you nerds need it. Hatsune Miku! And finally, we're only looking at the main mission of Dinosaur Jungle, paragraph 1. And none of the bonus challenges, because I don't like them. But I love dinosaurs. My god. So let's enter the jungle already and meet the big lizards of the past. Well, dinosaurs are more like birds than lizards. Uh-oh, I'm already being annoying. Hey, why didn't the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park have feathers? Because they're genetically engineered theme park attractions, you moron! Did we see the same movie? But first, we need to vibe check the track. The music track. Dinosaur Jungle already gives me a big goofy smile, and the theme of the Wicked Wild amplifies it. I mean, you hit the floor right as they scream, yow! They are hiding nothing. Each stage of Secret Rings has a vocal track, but that's a bit of a stretch when it comes to Dinosaur Jungle. I mean, Dino, it's jungle. Dinos all over its jungle. Evil Foundry's lyrics are pretty basic, but at least they're not singing "It's evil in the Foundry," a foundry of evil. I tease, of course, because like, who cares? They clearly don't. They're obviously having fun. Listen to them shout each line. They're losing their minds. Proper pronunciation nosedives, and the boys just start making sounds. And when Get Funky gets added to the mix, dude, it's too much. I can't take. Okay, now I'm just making sounds. So what about the actual melody? Well, that also gives me a great big goofy smile. They build things up so aggressively and then drop it to a whisper, with the guitar parroting each lyric. Things pick up the most when they start hammering down, and the guitar drags out that solo. Dinosaur Jungle has a lot of long, straight stretches. It's got a lot of long, straight dinos too, so the guitar melody kind of follows your own pace over these things. My favorite aspect of this track is the use of the drums. They personify the reverberations Sonic would feel in this threatening world. He's surrounded by a lot of massive, lumbering dinosaurs, you know? And the drums mimic their size with how much they're beating down, especially during the stampede. It's all I think about when we get those long fills. I don't know if I ever listened to this one separate, but Dinosaur Jungle hinges on this wacky awareness, and the soundtrack complements it really well. It's such a ridiculous vibe. The track is wild, just as the name suggests, and it only amplifies the wickedness of the jungle. See what I did there? Oh, don't roll your eyes. Keep them on the prize. As we plop down into our starting set piece. Yeah, we're getting started right now. The Triceratrack. These dinosaurs are ferocious. They will corner you and send you to hell. And I would know. I've been dealing with them ever since I got here.
All I'm saying is I'm friends with the Dilophosaurus, and I have never seen him spit in my entire life. Plus, Alan, are you listening? Why don't they have any feathers? I know I don't have any feathers, but that's a personal choice.
Would you just bite my head off already? Before we get run over, let's look at our starting shot. And Secret Rings has a couple. Every mission tracks Sonic falling in, with 2 bouncy zooms before screaming out the go. The sound effects are evocative of a kart racer. They got an announcer for each piece, and that countdown is doing more than you think. The movement of the pins is what times you on the periphery, meaning you can feel the countdown without directly looking at it. Plus, the elements are big and chunky. They fill a lot of space, which directs me to look at everything else on screen. The Secret Rings starting shot shows a lot of height as Sonic falls in, right? Sometimes you get a boring wall or ceiling in the background, but Dinosaur Jungle gives you these giant cactuses looming over you. Cacti are a big geographical feature of the jungle, and you later enter a spot where they become the ceiling. So right off the bat, we get a nice sampling of locale. And when we hit go, we get another surprise. We're looking backwards. Dinosaur Jungle is the only main stage to flip the camera at its start. All the others begin from behind. And it ain't just for show, because immediately we see a giant stampede of Triceratops bounding towards us. Well, you sorta do. They string in some rings which cover our line of sight. First time I played this, I actually got confused at what was happening and thought I'd have to jump over them or something. Once you pull the horn out of your ass, the camera cuts and we are eating some orbs. Since this is level 2 and you have no soul meter, you still don't know what they are, which is a bit silly. I thought they increased your speed initially, so I always chased after them. Thankfully, they are laid out in helpful pathways that direct you out of harm's way. Even with my motion control misgivings, I didn't have much trouble navigating the Cactus Causeway, mainly because the ground texture has these 2 lines to follow, which separates the road into 3 lanes, and oh my god, it's Sonic Unleashed again. Where's my bumpers? Even if I don't have my quick step, the motion tilting is still manageable because they pulled the camera back, allowing us to spot each rock and plant by utilizing the dips of the road. You can literally see them ratchet up the camera for each incline to show you the hazards. There is a reverse shot in the middle, and I won't lie, I've spiked myself a couple times. The Triceratricksters do telegraph their attacks, but my walnut-sized brain would have loved a brief color change, considering their animations activate on a descent. Also, they still send rocks to you on this shot. Sometimes they've snagged me, sometimes I go right through. It's a bit finicky. However, after an incredible camera cut, we take one final dip with some close call cacti, and then go swimming. What's wrong, you guys afraid of water? So this 30-second sprint is short and simple, but it's a powerful thematic opener to this zone, because it shows us one big thing. Sonic is out of his depth. It's my favorite aspect of this level. He is constantly caught off guard by danger. It's the rare Sonic stage where he's nervous, something that he himself remarks on. Like, you ever see Indiana Jones? That is an unlucky man, and it's so fun to watch. It ratchets up the stakes. It makes the audience uncertain and excited. Like, how the hell could he possibly get out of this one? It's really difficult to pull off with Sonic T. Hedgehog, as a majority of the fandom sees him as a golden god, but personally, when Sonic's sweating, I'm having a good time. I really gotta check these things before I record them. Anyways, that's the big goal of the Triceratops, and I think this setup knocks it out of the park. The Jurassic Park? Aw, sick, an email from Universal! The gameplay is scaled back so it doesn't interrupt the scene, the track is easy to follow, and with the camera work, we feel the heat with Sonic. It's a hectic, wicked, and wild set piece that immediately made me wonder, where do we go from here? Well, a big fat log is gonna answer that question as we take a trip down into Splash Mountain. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day. Why? Did my racist ride go away? No, we could work on that. A gray battered log shoots from the cave and crushes this neat wooden bridge, presumably constructed by the Triceratops? Who made this? Sonic is flung down a waterfall and into a rushing ravine. Even if Sonic's log stance is stiff, the deep drops and rushing water help hide his animations. You are dealt identical obstacles from the Triceratops, except this time we have no even ground texture to center ourselves. The water is this rushing swell which blends with the gray rocks. Thankfully, just like the top, the camera makes efforts to show each stone before you smash into it. However, also like the top, the rings can cover our sightlines. Much more now because we're log level with Sonic. Good news is, since this section is automated, a rock to the face won't slow you down much. And it won't even take your rings, or your soul serum, a rare leniency from Secret Rings. I'm moving quick through this gameplay because the real highlight of this section is the environment. The mountain is steep, and the repeating water texture makes it feel like you're flying down this descent. The edges are appropriately decorated with Jurassic foliage, and you even get this neat transition as all these cacti stalks curve into an overhang that shuttles you into our next area. Yet again though, my favorite part is a Sonic in peril. I mean, the man hates water, and look where he's at. That's a genuine scream from the blue boy. He really doesn't want to go down there. Plus you get that snarky little comment from Shara, which they really should have had Sonic talk back to. Stage banter is Shara's specialty that they rarely utilize. For now, however, we exit the log and prepare ourselves for the Cactus Crevice. Hold on, it's not a crevice, it's a crevasse. Congratulations, you can now get off the ride and play the level. I might be mistaken, but I believe this is your first branching path in Secret Rings, besides the big stone in Sand Oasis. Shara even comments on it. I consider this the optional route, because our rings and camera point away from the dash ramp. Once you take the jump, you're given a small homing chain with these spike springs, which leads you to a ring chest. Bounce further, and you're right back on the main road. Fast and quick, aka our shortcut. So let's see what we're skipping, and now head left. Cacti, for the most part, low enough that you can hop over them if you like, but not this guy. You gotta hop on him, though you can just home his projectiles and stomp him to pieces. And hey, look! We got jump carpets. Am I crazy, or are these only used here and Night Palace? You'd think they'd be all over this game. Transferring at the top is difficult with the split-second lock-on, but you are rewarded with a fire soul. Whew. Back down we go, and things are status quo. Rocks and cacti. Occasionally an enemy. As we head to our ending, however, we get an important branch. Traveling around these rocks just gets you out, but if you home the enemies on these leaves, you can make your way to a catapult. As you can see from my footage, I never got this damn thing right. Just cutting in real quick to say I still don't understand how this thing works. I even made a whole diagram showing you how you're supposed to use it, and then I replayed the game and tried it, and it didn't seem to work for me. Whatever. Catapults are for clowns and circus freaks. If you use them, you're afraid of the floor. Little baby. Fail, and you're stepping on spines. Succeed, and you do some quick hops through our next automated section. Hey, that's pretty fast. But automation is saved for spectacle, right? Let's take it to normal and see what they got in store for us. Oh god, my eyes! Okay, this thing hurts my brain. And my brain boy. For the first time ever, I will concede that the camera is too close to Sonic. It's a whirlwind of face-first textures. I think I got slapped by a palm tree 50 times. So what's actually happening here is Sonic is circling a spiraling cactus wrapped around a bigger cactus. The camera is locked behind Sonic, and half your screen is this wall. It takes up a lot of space, so maybe they're doing that so we look to our right. But doing that makes my retinas explode. Now this is just part 1 to the spin, as part 2 has you circling the interior of a tree. You're still on that strand of cactus, but it's much more bearable. Then huzzah, you're out, you're done. It's a bit of a lackluster ending because the spin closes you off from the crevasse. in both parts. But there's an easy fix here. Place this twirl out in the open, push the nearby cacti away, and slow the run down, please. You can even keep the camera angle the same. It's the flora that's hogging the screen. And you want to make sure we capture that, because IMO, it ain't the gameplay you remember in the crevasse, it's the space. The traversal is incredibly simple, the branches are short, and you're dealt few enemies. It's not a very mechanically enriching slice of secret rings, but the set dressing is magical. We are now deep within the jungle, light seeping through the canopy in these bright yellow splotches. The cacti we caught at the start are now fully formed, creating this canyon nestled in water. The sun streaks cut through the odd shape of the foliage, demonstrating the massive height of the area. And everything is a cactus here. The floor, the obstacles, the enemies. I bet the water would cut me up if I took a dip. This is the standout locale of Dinosaur Jungle, and we know this because when they represented Dinosaur Jungle in Crossworlds, they start you off in this section. Not only are the dinosaurs massive in the jungle, but so are the plants. And the best part is, Sonic is having fun. If we listen in here, you notice it's the first time during the jungle run where he enjoys himself. Sonic finds fun wherever he goes, and isn't that charming? But you can't charm me, because I am noticing a severe lack of dinos. Well, good news, me, because we're about to get up close and personal with them at Long Neck Lagoon. Three horns never play with long necks, said Daddy Tops, the racism king of the late Great Cretaceous. Status alive. Oh, screw this guy. If you've had enough of my flowery language, then prepare for some legit gaming with flowers. Flowers are still here. After we take our sharp turn, we twirl around a log and find ourselves out in the open, surrounded by waterfalls. As the wind carries the water, we meet the Flying Pot, literal name, and coast up to catch this big orange sauropod grazing in the water. You actually catch a lot of water here. Those spindly logs give you tons of looking room. After another flying pot, we get the big camera cut. The sauropod is now looking at us, and I don't want to be too dramatic here, but that might just be the tiniest Sonic of all time. He'd probably sound like this and live in your pocket. You feed him jelly beans, you could crush him with your thumb. Also, stupid tangent, but what is the hedgehog implying here? He says, oops. Whoa, thanks. But what is he oopsing? What did he screw up? He didn't trip, right? We saw him, he jumped, and he only says oops after his legs leave the ground. So we can only assume that Sonic jumped off a cliff with no plan, realized his mistake mid-flight, and was magically saved by the long neck. But Sonic also jumped out of a helicopter because he was bored, so what do I know? The tiny blue speck lands on this thing's noggin. Just as he passes the scorching sun in the background, we crane down and prepare to full-on Flintstone it. Except you yabba dabba don't, because you can't really gain momentum in secret rings. Instead, you can full stop horizontally and home the chest for some rings. Ahead, we have this stage's only real battle arena. The flowers were already an annoying enemy to fight, but now there's 3 of them. Fret not, friends, because I believe this is secretly a clever little tutorial. A common mistake new players run into with secret rings is homing too early. See, you gotta punch forward when it's red, go when it's green, and you merely air dash. These flowers shield themselves from hits, and fire multiple projectiles, meaning you might be bouncing in place for a while. And if a new player is spamming on that final flower, they might accidentally dash right over this barrier. Suddenly, we learn that using our own techniques, and later skills, will let us skip what we assumed were hard gates. When I first flew over that barrier, my mind went back to previous blocks that I ran up against. It feels obviously surmountable, which is why I wanted to bring it up. But what if you do unlock the block? Well, underneath it is a switch, which activates the animatronic ahead of us, revealing a secret route. Not much of a shortcut, considering you must pause and kill for it, but there are orbs and rings for your pleasure. Failing to activate the dinosaur just navigates you on an empty path above, and either direction gets you out of the lagoon. So, what is this thing? 2 pot climbs, a flower garden, and some long necks, right? I feel like Sand Oasis gets more nuts than this. The lagoon has a lot of modest stretches that boil down to a couple homing attacks, but again, there's more of a spotlight on the surroundings here. The camera on the initial log runs is deliberately pointing at that big sauropod, and sliding, or running, down this thing is the big feature. Like, you can't have a dinosaur level and not give Sonic a Flintstone slide. I'd yabba dabba do myself in to yabba dabba death, a flint stop of the heart, a self-inflicted Fredsecution. Since both dinosaurs must be reached through either platforming or combat, they seem like the focal point of the lagoon. And of course, Sonic's panic shines through in that flower arena, but he's also much more confident now that he started having fun. So much fun that he jumped right off a cliff Whoops! All this to say, Dinosaur Jungle is still holding back on gameplay, but it is also still focusing on the dinosaurs. And we're set to find some more of them, some specific dinos, as we grapple back onto another log and float down the Parasaurology stream. Say that one 5 times fast. All right, this part is super short, but we're surfing again. And duck-billed the dinosaurs are in direct eyesight. But this time, the raging rapids are a lazy river, where the goal is to dodge these iron balls that move back and forth. The motion isn't too tough. The real trouble is guessing where these balls go. There are no waves in the water, so you gotta make it up as you swim ahead. One smack and you're in the water. But also, Secret Rings has infinite lives, and that was a huge big brain move, because we're right back to the action if we beef it. The entire ride is enclosed in this cove, with rock outcrops hanging from the top and breaching from the bottom. It's a cold cavern, but you get some life with these 2 Parasaurology at the Parasaurology stream. These things don't hurt you, they just repeat their animations as Sonic glides past. They do remind me a lot of the animatronics on the Jurassic Park ride. Working title for this section was Hadrosaur Cove. Oh, I'm sorry, Predator Cove, the great ride refurbishment where they paved over my beautiful boat tour with thick gray concrete. Oh yeah, Universal, that's what I want to do in my dinosaur theme park. Watch TV. That'll scare them. I know the car didn't fall anymore, but another Dilophosaurus, you flanderized a lizard that never shot acid in the first place. Don't get me started on the Jurassic Park the Ride refurbishment. I am a dinomaniac. I got a t-shirt. I got 2 t-shirts. Thankfully, our Parasaurology stream is much more relaxing. With the abundant ring trails and orb lines, we have clear indications on where to turn, even if they do kind of block our vision again. I love the vibe of the stream, but it does feel like padding. The run over the lagoon is pretty low energy. The log should have been after the crevasse, in my opinion. Plus, in terms of Sonic talk, our man is silent. It's a brief little stop. Maybe they brought the energy down low because the next area is gonna shoot it right back up. Folks, my water cup is vibrating in a catchy Latin rhythm as we take on the T-Rex Tango. The Tyran Arena, the Rex Hex. Look, if you're messing with dinos, you have to bring up the T-Rex. It's the law. This was a fantastic subversion, specifically for me, something we love to talk about here. I knew about the pink Tyrannosaurus from the Crossworlds trailers and figured you'd be running away from him in Secret Rings. But no, you must avoid him in a large arena. And yet again, Sonic is freaking out. He even says his quills are tingling, which I'm gonna take as fear and not arousal. The Tango is twofold. Shimmy to avoid the Rex, then jump on the periphery. Let me tell you, I hate the shimmy in this game. It's a hard roadblock on every level, considering you watch Sonic run on a wall in Night Palace, and you even shimmy in that level too. What the hell? But I can forgive it here. The mechanics are still whatever, but the context, the reasoning, for once it makes sense why Sonic would take it slow, because he's hiding from this thing. Now you are forced to go even slower than normal, because sometimes you gotta wait for the Rex to smash through. So on replays, I can see the Tango getting annoying. However, after 3 close calls, you are on the rim of the arena, and now must deal with his tail. It's such a light dodge, but it feels so climactic because of the animation. The tail's animation. No, not tail, the T-Rex's tail. The way it slaps that thing down, slowly swinging forward like it's applying pressure, putting all the weight on it before it speeds towards you and wrecks all the rocks on the entire ledge. Again, it's literally just one jump. But do you see how much the animation, the sounds, the screen shake adds to it? Somehow, just pressing the 2 button felt like a close call. But now, we get even closer to his face. This may be Sonic in Jurassic Park, but this will not be Sonic in Jaws. Oh, hey, that's 3. Everyone come get your pizza. This final portion can handle a bit awkwardly, as you need to direct the Rex into boulders to open your escape. And he can get stuck swallowing air in certain spots. Plus, with the speed of Sonic's back tilt, it looks like you're just strolling backwards during this intense scene. But this was also where I remembered my flower technique. Knowing that I could just jump over the exit from before, I figured maybe with enough height, I can avoid getting caught in this arena entirely. And you totally can. And I felt so smart about it too. That's the magic of intuitive teaching, folks. I tricked this dino with my own intellect. You're the size of a walnut, pal. Brain Boy's got you beat by 40 pounds! And when you return to the Rex Hex on a replay with your soul gauge, you can actually just speed break through all the rocks. Once the Tango has ended, you sprint through an arch and wave goodbye to Mr. Rex. As a guy coming to this game late, I thought it was a great twist that they saved the running for the tops and the hiding for the Treks. And I wish they took cues from Spielberg and ended things with the meanest dino of them all. What follows is another stretch of running, and the Tyrannorena could have been an effective capstone to the whole journey. Because how could you possibly top this guy? I love him. He's so big, he's so loud, and he's pink. I bet when you saw him in the Crossworlds trailer, you were like, that ain't just any T-Rex. That's Dinosaur Jungle's T-Rex. It's the most memorable dino from the stage. And you don't fight it, you avoid it. You sneak past it, like a little sneaky guy. Which means this guy stays alive in our collective memories. I'll always tango with you, Tyrant King, even if you make me shimmy. But we're not out of the woods, the Dinosaur Jungle yet. We got one more circuit to run, and this time we'll be flung into the air at the Pond. I'm killing it with these names today, right guys? No wait! Despite being our most open area, this final section is straighter than the lagoon. Your real surprise this time is the catapult, if you didn't use the one from before. And just like before, you know how much trouble I have with these. The first one has no punishment, you just spring ahead. But once we get to the tippy top, we hit the dash ramp and see this, a scattered archipelago of Dinosaur Jungle designs. The big cacti are back, now as literal islands in the distance. The water from the lagoon has seeped back in, and of course, we got more dinosaurs. The pteranodons here are not static. You always catch them when you take this jump. You also catch this guy, who always makes me laugh. A lot of the dinos are naturally placed in the environment, but this dude absolutely looks like he belongs in Universal Studios. He's just so rigid, so uncovered. I love it. Again, another harmless twirl, and we get a good shot of our robot friend, now appropriately covered and masked in the landscape. A hard left, and we're back to flinging. Catapult 2 has some stakes, because you can jump over it by accident if you play like me, and your checkpoint is before the T-Rex. A strong shot on this one gives us a striking shot from below as we watch the blue boy fully transform into tiny Sonic and soar up to the heights of the pteranodons. And then you land like a couple feet in front of the catapult. However, a shot with stronger energy will fly you right past all of that. We then get a good angle of our spiral climb, this time far back so you can see the flowers and fauna of the Dinosaur Jungle. And oh my lord, we did it! We escaped Dinosaur Jungle! And it wasn't that hard. Well, the stampede, the rapids, the T-Rex, that was all hard. But this ending pond is absent of any obstacles. The only thing killing you is the water. And all the dinosaurs that should be featured are shoved into the background. It's a whimper of an ending for such an explosive level. And there are some quick fixes. Have our robo-dinos threaten us from the sidelines. Make them hazards. Maybe incorporate the catapult to grab onto a pteranodon. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. He's got 2 wings. What does he care? It's just a shame that our final adventure in Dinosaur Jungle is rocks and machines. However, it does leave us with a final taste of the setting. This is the most open part of the jungle, feels like we're at the edge, and we see a lot of that cactusy world. The pond serves more as a nice place to cool down after our thrill ride, a relaxing stroll by the seaside as we reminisce on all the great memories we made in the jungle. We kick our legs up the twist, level out, and slide into the gold scroll. With a thumbs up from Sonic, we can finally breathe a sigh of relief as we have officially escaped Dinosaur Jungle.
It turns out he was saving it for his daughter's birthday.
What are you looking at? I've been eating T-Rex shit for 4 weeks. I wasn't raping knights at all, stupid dinosaur.
Who wants to learn about dinosaurs?
Alright, Universal said they're gonna take me to court if I drop one more Jurassic Park reference. So while I round up my lawyers, how does Dinosaur Jungle make you feel? For me, I feel like I am out of my element. What is going on? Why are we here? I was promised Arabian Nights. Suddenly I'm running from Triceratopses. And I'm not the only one confused. Sonic the Hedgehog is as shocked as I am. He doesn't even call a dinosaur by name. Does he even know what a dinosaur is? It truly is a wicked wild for this guy, and they lean into it so hard. Not through just the set pieces, but they are there. Oh my. Stampedes, river runs, T-Rex trepidation. That alone makes it a standout stage. But what elevates it above all else is Sonic himself, his remarks, his reactions. He might not be trembling in fear, and his confidence does carry him through, even exploding out in some cases. But Sonic constantly screams, cracks jokes, and questions the setting. If Sonic was silent throughout this level, I do not think it would be as energetic as it is. He's just thrown into danger, doesn't want to be there, and makes it known. Because half of these segments are spectacle first, gameplay second. It takes a full minute before you see a homing reticle, and before you know it, you're back on that log with no more attacks mechanics all the way to the end. As a guy who struggled with the controls, as a guy who inhales the visuals, I adore this zone. But I don't want to gloss over the actual mechanics here, because for Secret Rings diehards, this jungle gives you very little to go with. Cactus Crevasse, Long Neck Lagoon. That short middle chunk is the only time you're making active choices with your controller. Every other piece of this level kind of just goes. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I imagine for people who inhale this play style, Dinosaur Jungle is too automated and uncomplicated. There are extra missions which provide harsher challenges, but if we inspect this stage as it stands, I don't think it offers up much in terms of difficulty. Dinosaur Jungle cares more about its name. It builds gameplay around the dinosaurs. They don't feel inserted in as a reference. Rather than creating an intuitive course to place dinosaurs on, they ask themselves, how do we move Sonic around these dinos? And therefore, a lot of the gameplay gets sidelined for the big bad lizards, or birds. And when you're making a dinosaur-themed level, that was the correct choice, because it makes it memorable. Compared with Pirate Storm, another level here, I only remember the layout there because the ships are built for the track, and there's no pirates at all. The spirits don't really count because you can barely see their costumes. But you can't miss a dinosaur, can you? It's huge. In the jungle, the track is built for them, and they are living and breathing all around us. And wouldn't you know it, Secret Rings' on-rails roller coaster control scheme fits perfectly with this theme park attraction. It's such a strange, specific level slotted into a game that is already taking a lot of risks. But to me, there was never any doubt. When you got to dinos, you always knock it out of the park. The Jurassic Park. So just sit back and enjoy the ride as we keep on trying to survive Dinosaur Jungle. All right, everyone, say cheese. And that is how we will leave things today. But you know, I gotta know, what do you think of Dinosaur Jungle? Is this thing too simple, or does the spectacle carry it through? Does Sonic carry it through? And the most important question, what dinosaur would you add into this level? I call dibs on Spinosaurus, so good luck. Whew. Anyways, that was a fun one. I never even considered I'd be making a dinosaur-themed Sonic the Hedgehog video someday. If only 5-year-old me could see me now, he'd say, why are you still doing this? Didn't you go to college? God, I was such a little prick back then. But it was very fun to gush about this stage. Oh, Dinosaur Jungle, where did you come from? You blindsided me with dinos. But hey, with the jungle behind us, where will we go next? Like I said, I want to keep vids short and keep them coming, so another individual level analysis is in the works. I really want to do another adventure stage, and I really want to do an SA1 stage already. I've held off for so long because people hate DX, and I primarily use that. I was honestly waiting until I got a Dreamcast, but that could be years, and I don't even have a CRT yet, which means SA1 is kinda stuck in limbo for the channel. But I don't want to do that, because that game rules. Plus, I'd still feature the Dreamcast version in the vid through the, ditch method. Remember Speed Highway? So if you guys are cool with it, I say we go ahead and crack into those fantastic Adventure 1 zones. What do you say? I'll read what you say. Type it down below. But I will say, thanks for watching. Oh boy, you hear my voice is like dead. Screaming about dinosaurs all day. If you enjoyed the vid, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to see the next. Also hit the bell so you know when the next vid goes up. You won't want to miss it. And just so I don't keep you waiting, I might just crack into it right now. So I'll see you later. Love y'all. Don't go into the long grass. And peace. Oops.